Hey everyone, DB Explorer here, and welcome to this review of the Hasika car camping tailgate tent. In this video, we're going to look at the tent setup process. I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks, and lastly, we'll look at the pros and cons of this tent. If you find this video to be helpful, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It helps with the growth of the channel. As a point of reference, I installed this tent on a 2013 Santa Fe and I bought the tent from Amazon. I'll provide pricing of the tent under the pros and cons. Here's everything that comes with the tent itself. You get 2 pegs, 6 magnets, 2 pieces of string, and the tent itself, as well as a carrying bag. In some SUVs, the interior light will stay on when your hatch is open. For tip and trick number 1, get yourself a carabiner and stick it in where the latch is. This will ensure that your dome light is off and that you don't drain your battery. Just remember to take the carabiner out when you close the hatch. The setup of this tent is really straightforward and it takes about 10 minutes. One person can also set this tent up completely on their own. I was camping with 4 other people on this trip and we all had SUV tent camping setups. I'll show you what those look like towards the end of the video. You will see a Napier tent, a yellow Hasika tent, and you'll get a glimpse of a roof nest. As you can see, the tent is secured on each side with hooks that latch onto the wheel. And there are also 3 magnets that are used on the side of the vehicle to secure the tent. This brings us to tip and trick number 2. And before I forget, if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comments. I will respond. I also really enjoy hearing your comments about these types of tents, what you liked about them, what you didn't like, and if you have any recommendations, would love to hear those as well. For tip and trick number 2, consider buying a few extra magnets for each side of the vehicle to secure the tent. This will help give you a bit of extra security in the event of high winds or in the event that you're trying to close all the gaps to keep the mosquitoes out. On this trip, I just used the magnets that were supplied with the tent. However, they could be a bit stronger, and I think having a few more for each side is a good idea. Here you can see the tent setup with the shade awning out. You can also see that there is a mesh screen at the back of it. You can close that down completely in the event of rain. Regarding the shade awning, you could also purchase 2 poles that are not included with the tent to have the shade awning stretch outward and provide more like a canopy. Now if you look inside my sleep setup here, you can see that I have the Quechua quick setup 2-second 3-person tent. Please feel free to check out my YouTube channel where I do a review on this great quick setup tent. On this Hasika tent, there's a large mesh screen at the back. It provides for great ventilation. And if you need to get up in the middle of the night, you can exit through the back of the tent or you can exit through the side door of your vehicle. With the awning rolled up, you can see that you can get a great view of the lake or whatever your view is when you're camping. Before I jump into the pros and cons of this tent, I just wanted to show you a little bit of video of the competitor Napier SUV tent. This tent is very similar, however there is a tent rod that you install at the back of it. My friend had to fuss with it quite a bit, but I'm sure after a few installations you get used to it quite quickly. So let's talk about some of the pros of this tent. Number one, it's super affordable. On sale it was about 100 Canadian, which is 73 USD or 68 euro. The tent is easy to set up. You can set it up by yourself in about 10 minutes. Thirdly, it's a great option for sleeping in your SUV. Sometimes you just want to get off the ground. You might want to try sleeping in your vehicle. I thought it was a lot of fun. As for the cons, the tent has lightweight materials. So the pegs, the rope, the zippers, the overall materials are pretty light gauge. So you want to be careful with it. It was also hard to exit from the rear in the middle of the night. So if you have to get up and go to the bathroom, I found that fumbling with the zippers and stepping out of the tent was a little bit challenging. I thought you might find it interesting to see the inside of this old 4Runner here. As you can see, there's a lot of space in them, and the setup with this Napier tent was working really nicely. If you are considering a regular tent, please feel free to check out my video on the Quechua 2-second setup 3-person tent. This is a tent that I use regularly when I'm not SUV camping, or sleeping in my SUV I should say, and I enjoy that tent very much. My overall impressions for the Hasika SUV tent are positive. I'm happy I made the purchase. I enjoy sleeping in my SUV, especially when I want to get off the ground. And it just made for an enjoyable weekend. We all headed out to this beautiful campsite. We all had a similar setup. As you can see, one of the guys had a roof nest. The rest of us had SUV car camping tents, and it made just for an enjoyable weekend, a great sleep, and an overall great time. If you're an experienced camper and you're thinking about trying to sleep in your SUV, give one of these products a try. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're new to camping and you're just checking out this video, I encourage you to give it a try. It's great to get out in nature. It's good for the soul. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like to support the channel. Want to wish you all the best. Peace.